So today we're going to be talking about tips on buying a car.
Nice.
New or used?
I think any, because I mean, essentially it's the same process. I feel like it's just on what, like your budget, what you need it for, and like that.
Oh, basic stuff. Because it's
Basic
way
stuff.
different buying a used car.
It is
it?
different. Yeah, because on a used car you can't really
Yeah.
negotiate.
Yeah, you can.
No, yeah, you can. But I'm
You
talking about,
can,
okay, I'm
but-
talking about buying a car off somebody or buying a
Versus
car
from
off
a
the
dealer.
dealer.
Oh.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about buying a car from a dealership.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good. Actually, I'm gonna make a fair note of this. I've never purchased a brand new car ever in the history of my life. I've always bought used.
I've never bought a used car ever in the history of my life.
Neither of you though.
Fancy pants.
We bought the Fiat used. That was my
Oh,
first
yeah,
used
that's-
car experience. Yeah.
AJ,
Fancy pants. Oh, both. Used and new.
be nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some tips. What are some things that people should pay attention to or should know before going and buying a car?
I think before you go buy a car, you should know what you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do the research.
Do the research.
Yes.
Because their whole job is to go in there and make money off you.
Yeah.
So if you go in there and you're like, I think I want something economic. That's really broad.
You're gonna walk out with the Fiat.
I think the problem is with people that buy cars, one, everybody has to have the first one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't buy a car just because it's the first and latest and greatest. I mean,
Yeah, get
it
something
could
that's
be the
fucked
latest
up.
and greatest, and you do want to be the first, but make sure you want that car. You know, do your research. Try to get as much research on that car as you can, because once you sign that paperwork, that shit's like herpes. That shit ain't going anywhere. It's stuck with you. It's stuck with you. That's it. You ain't getting out of it, because as soon as you drive that shit off the lot,
It's over.
it's over. Money's down. You lost money. So, you know, I mean, I think that's probably for me the most important thing. I mean, you know, obviously there's financial things that you need to do, you know, and have, you know, make sure you have good credit, you know, so you don't get screwed on interest, you know. That's
So
another
you think,
one.
So you think your number one thing would be get a car you like?
Get a car you like and research it.
research it?
Yeah.
I
And
would say-
drive it. Test drive the car. Don't
make sure
be
you're happy.
scared. Yeah.
Don't be so quick to sign the paperwork. That car's always going to be there. Just
Test drive it a few times.
yeah, test drive it a few times. You know, see the car maybe 10 times. Like date it, you know, before you make your move. You know, so you get used to the car.
The one thing I think is a big factor that people don't realize, and it's a common reason why people sell their cars, is settling for something less because you don't want to pay more. So settling for a EcoBoost or a V6 if you really want that V8, because your mind is set on that V8, and if you get something less, you're gonna be happy for a little bit, but eventually you're gonna be like, shit, I should have got the V8.
And actually going back to what AJ said about the test drive thing, don't buy your car the same day that you test drive it. Because when you get behind that wheel and you test drive it, your emotions are spinning. You are happy. If you love it, you are happy, and you are, you know, oh my God, this and that. But give it some time, right? Step away from the car and actually take a moment to think about your experience behind the wheel.
And you know what? On that note, it's like meeting a girl at the bar. You take her home. You wake up with her. And you're like, what the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I do?
Except you can't get her an Uber.
No, you know, it's like, think about it, you know, don't let your emotions and, you know, the mood and everything, you know, overtake you, you know,
One of the biggest.
because you're going to wake up in bed with that girl and you're going to be like, fuck, what did I do?
9 months later, Junior
Oh
comes.
shit!
You're going to get up, go in your garage and you're going to be like, man, why did I buy that car?
Yeah.
And we just found out a lot about AJ in the last 30 seconds. Fuck. It's alright, man. It's alright.
I think one of the bigger reasons why buyers get buyer's remorse is because they act on impulse, and
Yep.
they don't do enough research. They don't take enough time to actually experience the car, test drive it, like I said, but don't buy it the day of, because then, you, like I said, your emotions are spinning. Dude, when I went on the test drive of my Mustang and I got back, dude, I had the biggest, most cheesiest fucking smile on my face, dude. And I was like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
I ended up buying it, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I did that twice, bro. I went to test drive 2 cars. Actually, I got dropped off at the dealership both times, and I left home with the car. So, we're giving people good advice, but we didn't follow it.
no, we didn't follow it.
Yeah, but you're
But we're
learning.
telling- yeah, we're telling you
you're
now.
telling from your experience, you
Yeah.
know? And the other thing I think the problem is that people get not sticker shock, but payment shock.
That's
when
what
they
I'm
get their
saying.
first payment and they're like, oh man, you know, it's like you gotta love that car. I mean, you know, so everybody thinks their payment's always high, you know. So when you make that high payment, you gotta be like, is the juice worth the squeeze?
It's
You
not
know?
really the first payments, it's the fucking middle of your payments. So you're 2 years in, you're like, fuck, I'm still paying $500 for this shit. Like, my shit doesn't even run right no more. Noises everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking airbags.
I chopped up my fenders and shit, man. I'm still paying for this motherfucker. You know? Why did I cut the fenders?
Still gotta pay it though, man.
Here, let me put a wrap on it and it'll be like a new car.
It
Oh
does.
my gosh.
But yeah, the payments. It's
Yeah.
always the payments. And I think that's what happens with the, you know, after buying
Insurance too.
Yeah, the insurance and, you know, all this stuff just comes in and, you know, you got to be ready for it. You know, it's a big purchase, you know. It's the worst purchase you're going to make in life.
But no matter what, I think, like you said, the first thing you have to do your research. And I said about the V8 or V6 thing, because if you're having that, you're gonna have that regret no matter what. 2 years later, you're gonna be like, fuck, I still gotta pay for the car. But if you don't have that car you want, you feel even worse because you said, damn, I should have got this car. I should have got this model. Perfect example, when I got my IS250, I wanted the IS350, but then it's like, shit, it's $50 more a month. Like, should I get it? And I was like, nah, I'll get the 250. A year later, I'm like, shit, I should have got the 350. I would have kept the car.
And get the right model.
And
you
that's
know?
the thing. I got the Mustang. Had to get a V8. They tried to talk me into an EcoBoost because obviously the payments are gonna be lower. But I'm like, nah, I can't. Like, I made that mistake already. I learned from that one. I did learn from that one. But I see it happen so many times when people tell me like, should I build this car or should I build this V6 or should I build this EcoBoost or should I, you know, just trade it in for a GT? And it's like, you should have got that from the beginning. It's like, yeah, but they talked me down into it, or they convinced me, or they told me you could build this to be that. And it's like, you're gonna spend the same amount of money. The difference is you're financing one, and now you gotta pay this one out of pocket. You know, it's the same shit in the end. You could have just got there, you know, the first time. So regardless of me regretting my payments, I'm still happy that I got it.
Yeah, it's just like Dodge. I mean, if you go look at, say, a Challenger, you know, you have the RT, you know,
there's so many
you have the
fucking-
392, you know, then you got your Hellcat, then you got your Hellcat wide body. So if you're going in there and you're looking at the Hellcat wide body, right? So you're looking at the Hellcat wide body, you're like, oh man, it's just a little bit too much. And then you end up coming out there with the RT, you know, you're like, you're not going to be happy. So don't even buy the RT. You know, get something else.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be happy. You know, if your eyes are set on, now, if you're happy with the RT, then you're good. But if you're one of those people that are looking at that higher version of that, or that higher model of that car, you know, and you want that Hellcat wide body, then, you know, if you not just work till you can get it and save your money till you can get it versus buying a RT or a 392 and settling, because you're never going to be happy. And don't buy the 392 thinking that you're going to step up down the road, because you're just going to lose money. That's just retarded.
Yep.
Financially.
Agreed.
I think something that helped me when I was doing my research for the Mustang is I heard a lot. Look for the dealer invoice, the invoice price of the car, because that's going to help get things into perspective in terms of where the cost should be, the car should be priced at. So, for example, dealers have dealer markup, right? This is a price that they add onto the car because they want to make a little bit of money because they know it's a coveted item. So when you look at invoice price, the invoice price is the manufacturer's cost that they sold the car to the dealership for. Technically, as a consumer, you can get that price, but by knowing that price, it'll tell you.
What was that, EDM or what are you calling
Like
it?
ADM? I think ADM is a dealer markup.
Yeah, or something
But
like that.
yeah. But the invoice price is the MSRP from the manufacturer themselves. So, for example, if a car is $40,000 MSRP, right, and you go to the dealership and all of a sudden it's 43, well, you gotta ask why. Why is it 43? Now, sometimes it's justified because now you got a package like an enhanced security package, or maybe you get a performance package, or maybe you get a black accent, you know. But if it's just dealer markup, you can negotiate the dealer markup significantly.
I will say though, not every dealership does that. Some are on credit, some are on consignment. So it doesn't work. If you go and they literally tell you there's not one, then there's probably a reason why. So just make a mental note of that.
The other thing too that I wish I knew ahead of time was I could have ordered a car from the factory the way that I wanted it and paid invoice price for it.
I did not know that till now.
Yeah. I could have told it. The thing is, you have to wait an additional 8 weeks. But this isn't. Cars are not cheap. You're talking about a 5-figure investment minimum.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it as an investment period. But you can actually go to a dealership and say, I want to place an order for a car. This is what I want on it. And because you're placing that order, you get to pay the invoice price of that car. So whatever that car actually costs from the manufacturer to make, you get to pay that. But when you do that, there's no wiggle room, right? What you're ordering is what you're going to get, and that's what you're going to pay. Whereas if you pick a car off the lot, there's wiggle room here and there.
Because they're trying to get rid of whatever is just there.
That's why I like used car dealerships, because they have a lot more wiggle room than a lot that just has all brand new cars.
But isn't buying a used car have higher interest?
Yes.
It does. So I mean, yeah, if you can afford a little bit of a higher interest, go for it. But I mean, my interest is
You're gonna pay more in interest, but you're also getting a car that, say that person that bought a GT Mustang and he needed to get rid of it 2 years down the road, and now you got a Mustang that essentially was a $40,000 car, and you can pick it up for $25K, you know, pay it off quick. There is some value in buying a used car, you know, like right now there's a lot of people selling their cars for whatever reason, because they messed them up or whatever, and, you know, those cars, you know, just wait for them, you know, but don't pay what they want, you know, they want a lot of money for them.